Right. Fairly straight, right? Okay. So the symbol of the man is the straight line. Straight lines. Well, as women that are naturally more curved than men, we have to pay attention to that and find clothes that will relate and work with our curves. So let's see. We're going to look at the outside line of our bodies when you look in the mirror. Is it curved? See the curve? Right here? Or is it straight through the shoulder, through the hip? If it's curved, is the curve soft and cuddly? Isn't that a nicer word, cuddly? Yes, cuddly. Or is it taut and muscular? If it's soft and cuddly, then the body is asking that it has fabrics that will move and sort of flow over the body. So therefore, the body tells you what kind of fabric it wants. If you have straight lines then, and the bones show, then you need fabrics that have a little bit more heft, a little bit more body, more crisp, such as cotton. Those of you that are what we call straight-lined or skeletal often have cotton blouses, cotton shirts in their closet, but a true, soft, cuddly, molded type like I am, we don't have those cotton shirts in our closet that much. The muscular body with the taut muscles needs a little bit more substance. It needs a fabric that has more body, but it also has to be cut in the curve that relates to the curve of the muscles. And this is the woman who often likes some elastic or spandex or bias cuts or knits that will move with her body. Not a silk knit that is limp and collapses on her body, but something that has more substance. So go into your closets and think of look for your favorite clothes. What are they? What are their fabrics? The fabrics will tell you a little bit about what your body is, because you'll always have your favorite things, and your favorite things are always right for you. They always are. So that's line. Line in the body tells you about fabric drape. How much fabric drape? How much crispness or fluidness do you need in your fabrics? Line in your face. Do you have straight lines in your brows or high curved ones? Do you have diagonals? What line in your face? You'll see that in your accessories, your jewelry. It's repeating. The eye wants to see a relationship between what's on you and what's in your face. On you and in your face. We want that rhythm. You have a natural rhythm in your design that we want repeated in the environment of clothes. That's line. Then we have shape. Now, there are many different kinds of shapes of bodies. Here we have 6 kind of general ones. It's where's the shoulder in relationship to the waist, in relationship to the hip thigh. There are 2 wide-waisted ones, the rectangle and the oval. Now the rectangle is pretty much straight up and down. The oval comes out a little bit here in the middle. Now you can have a size 2 oval or a 22 oval, a size 2 rectangle or a size 22 rectangle. Plus, it does not matter. The width doesn't matter. This is just the proportion up and down, the shape up and down. The narrow-waisted silhouettes are the hourglass. It's where the shoulder goes into the waist and then no high hip here, but down to a wider thigh that is pretty much in line with the shoulder. That's an hourglass shape. And what that shape tells you is that it wants this, if it's a skirt, it wants the skirt to keep going out under that thigh for a flared skirt. or little shorts that go out, little flared shorts, if you've got the thigh down here. So those are the two narrow, that's the top narrow-waisted one. The second one is the figure 8, which is different. I have a figure 8. The curved shoulder, a little curved, down into a little waist, littler waist, right? And then this high hip that comes out and down. The thigh isn't wider than the hip, but it's just like this. So that's a figure 8. Can you see this? Here's the figure 8. And often the figure 8 has this little tummy right here. Has this little high hip right here, great for holding groceries and babies and things like that. Then there are, so those are the narrow-waisted ones. Then the triangle silhouettes can be either narrow or wide-waisted. It doesn't matter. But what's the most important is that the shoulder in the inverted triangle, the shoulder is wider than the hip thigh. So there's always this diagonal. Then the other, turn that upside down and you have the triangle. It's where the shoulders are more narrow and the hip thigh is wider. Now, language is so important. We spoke about that briefly just a few moments ago. But isn't it nicer to think I have a triangle silhouette? It's sort of statuesque, don't you think? A triangle silhouette, as opposed to I have a pear. There's something about the pear that just doesn't sound wonderful and exciting. So, well, it might be good. Maybe it's just because I don't like pears to eat, but if you love pears, maybe that'd be okay. But somehow that's a negative connotation in my body is like a pear. So I like to use triangle. There are different periods in history where the triangle has been the perception of beauty. There's different periods in history that all of these silhouettes are different perceptions, have been perceived as the most beautiful. But the reality is, every shape is beautiful. Every shape is beautiful, every animal has its own beauty, every flower is beautiful, every leaf, every tree, everyone has, every bit of creation in God's creation has its own type of beauty. So it's just discovering that. So that's shape. Now, the next has to do with proportion. Proportion is the most important, I think, to understand in understanding your own beauty. There is no one proportion that is more beautiful than another. It's just an is. However, to wear manufactured clothes, there's certain proportions that make it more easy to buy clothes. That's all. But let's see what your proportions are. So first we want to know what your proportions are, and then we can think of what the proportions are in the stores for clothes that are manufactured. So the easy to dress proportions, not the perfect proportions, the easy to dress proportions. 1 head length or face length, right? 2, 3 to the waist. So far with me, so good. That means I can wear bangs or not bangs. I can, just do any kind of neckline I feel like and jewelry, and that's just great. So here I am. Then the easy to dress proportions are another head length down to the crotch, right? We call it the rise. All right. Well, guess what? I don't have that. If I had 8 head lengths, which is the easy to dress proportions, of this head length, think how big my head would be, and I would be 7 feet plus tall. So I have the rise of a basketball player in the NBA, but I'm not one. So that is something for me to consider when I choose clothes. Okay. It's not that it's not okay. It's perfectly okay. It's just my proportions. So your proportions are your proportions. Your proportions are your gift of proportions. It's fine. They're beautiful. You just have to learn how to work with them, all right? So here I am. Then it's again, the easy to dress body, 2 more head lengths down to the knee. Well, I don't quite have 2. Close, but not quite 2. And then 2 more down to the ankle bone. Well, I don't really have those either. So what happens is, if you really look at me without shoes on, you go up here, suddenly I get, now let's see, let's do this. Suddenly, can you see that? It's like, oh dear, where'd she go? She went somewhere. She went south. So I do this, and I shorten my sleeves, and I do this with my hair, and then we don't notice that my legs are a little short for regular clothes. Does that make sense? Okay. So if you don't like what's reflected back in the mirror, it's more often than not, it's your proportions in the clothes that you have on that are not in balance with your body. So that you have to start playing. Shorten those sleeves, shorten the top, shorten the jacket, lengthen it, lengthen the skirt, try different things until you get the proportions that when the reflection comes back, you say, ooh, wow, ooh, I like that. That works. So if you don't like what's reflected back, there's nothing wrong with you. There's something wrong with the choices with the clothes. Any questions about that? Okay. After proportion, then we look at body particulars. In an artwork, it would be the subject. Is it of the ocean, or is it of the trees, or what is the subject? What are those particulars in that painting? Well, you have particulars, and those particulars are probably going to be those red dots that we talked about. Remember those red dots on that piece of paper? Those are those places that are unique to you, that are maybe be a little difficult for you to dress and feel wonderful about. But that's what gives you your personality. That's what gives you your beauty. So that's a challenge. I want you to, by the end of the time, I hope, or it might take you 2 years, to see all of those red dots as gifts. All those areas that you think you want to change, no. See what makes them wonderful and make them special. So, is it the nose? Too big, too little? I have worked with women and men for the past 30 years, and I have heard every complaint about every part of any body that you could imagine. Someone would say, oh, my eyes are too big. And the next one would say, but my eyes are too small. Oh, my nose is too big, my nose is too small. This is too... And the reality is, they're all just perfect. They just don't know what to do with it. So, is it the nose? Is it the neck? Long, short, wide? The shoulders, slanted, straight? The bosom, full, not much? High, low? With men, it's the pec muscles. Are they extended? Are they not? Do they not have any? What's going on? The waist, is it sort of high? Is it low? That's proportion. Is the tummy, do we have one? Do we not have one? The tush, is it rounded and muscular, or is it flat? Is it wide? What's the thigh? Is it big? Is it narrow? Is it, the calves, are they developed? Like you have, athletes have these fully developed front thigh muscles. What is it? Curvy legs, feet, long, short, wide. You see, these are all just particulars. They're the parts of you in your design pattern that makes you unique and recognizable. So, understanding that, then you just make sure that you have clothes that fit those particulars. Not trying to fit your body into someone else's clothes, which is often what we do. So if we think our body isn't okay, it's because we have on the wrong clothes. I will say this again and again. Now, you might say, but I want my body to be smaller or larger or whatever. Well, that's a health issue, you see. But in the meantime, wherever you are, honor the beauty of your body. A size 24 can be fabulous, gorgeous, grand, wonderful. And a size 2 can be delightful. You see, it has nothing to do with size. It has to do with heart and acceptance of our own beauty. So that's body particulars. Next, let's look at scale. Now, there are 2 parts of scale. Look at your features. Do you have dainty small brows? Do you have large eyes? Do you have small, delicate eyes? Do you have a little nose? Do you have a wide nose? Large scale, small scale, medium scale for your face. What are your features? That scale is what you put on in ornamentation, in jewelry, in earrings, in belts if you have a waist, in prints, patterns in fabric. So you relate the ornamentation to the scale in your features. And then you have scale of your bone structure. Wrists, ankles are the 2 places that we see the bone structure the most. Is it small, medium, or large relative to the rest of your body? And if it's small, then you use very small. I have small. Can you see that? And then you use very small construction detailing. And in sweaters and ribbing, small, dainty, not large, wide. Wide wrists, wide facings in a blouse or in the ribbing. It makes sense. You see, it's just very logical that you relate it. Smaller upper body, larger lower body, then you do a little heftier heel in the shoe with the wider, more sturdy ankle. Isn't it nice to know that you have a strong ankle, a sturdy ankle, an ankle that has some substance rather than a thick ankle? You see, there's a way to speak about our bodies that are kind and encouraging and uplifting to our souls and our hearts. The next area that we would consider looking at ourselves as a work of art is color. How much contrast do you have? What is your coloring? There are 2 parts to color. There's the color of your body, which we see in the skin, the eyes, and the hair. That's always easy to repeat. Then there's the color of your heart. That's your personality. Do you have a voice that's like a bassoon, maybe, or a trumpet? Or do you have a soft voice that's like a flute or a harp? If you have soft voice, then you need softer colors to wear. If you have a fuller, more vibrant, metallic voice, then you can wear brighter colors. But the personality of your voice and your body and your being, you will know that your favorite colors. Wear them. So that's the color. Then you have texture. Texture is the hair, the texture of the hair. Is it curled? Is it mottled, multicolored? Is it straight? Is it fine? Is it thick? Is it sheer, delicate, thin? If you have sheer, delicate hair, you wear finer, more sheer fabrics. If you have hair with more substance, you can wear fabrics that have more substance, or maybe darker colors that have more weight. If you have curly hair that's out to here, you can wear more pattern and more texture more easily. So it's again repeating what you have, honoring what you have. And you can find your clues in your closet. What are your favorite things? What do you love? Whether you can fit in it or not matters not. Don't wear it if you don't fit in it. but you can get these clues to start seeing that, yes, you do know. Oh, I do love that. Oh, that is beautiful. I must be beautiful too. Not listening to what anyone else says about your beauty or lack of it. That's not the point. It's listening here. What does God say about your beauty? How can you honor God? By repeating back to the world the message that He's given you in the way He's created you. Because you are special, and God wants you to know that you're special. God will rejoice in heaven when you start seeing how special you are. And the rest of the world will start seeing how special you are when you express what's in your heart. So it's finding this beauty, honoring the inside beauty, bringing it together, making choices that show the world that you know that God made you in a special way, and really dressing to praise God, not for anyone else.